When you ask people, they often say, "It's in my blood." A nod to the inherited love of a sport often passed down through generations. But racing is a choice, one millions of Americans make each year, far from the sponsored fire suits of cup-level racing, but rather here, small towns and communities, from Beech Ridge, Maine to Palmer, Alaska, and pretty much everywhere in between. This is where my dream started. It's here the choice is made to spend Saturday nights, cheering for men and women who shed the skin of their work lives to pile into all makes of cars and race. A young man battling back through adversity.
It's remarkable. Nobody thought he was going to make it.
Well, so many people love you, young man.
A legend, far removed from his glory days. A young woman on a quest to change the narrative. A family, bonding to help their son feel free.
Come on, kid.
And a track that represents it all.
Grassroots Racing, it's the entry level to NASCAR. I love it. Nothing else I'd rather be doing.
This is their story.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
We are just about set to go racing.
All right, race fans, make some noise.
Get your camera phones out. It might be a photo finish.
This is the story of one day. Not any day out of the ordinary. Just one. In the life of grassroots racing. What part gets in your blood exactly? That's what this story's all about. It's Saturday, August 17th, 2019. By all accounts, an ordinary day in the world of grassroots racing. Tracks of all kinds begin their preparations. Cars of all kinds are tinkered with. And people of all kinds start their race day. From a small town in southern Alaska to racing's epicenter in Charlotte, North Carolina, tracks will transform and communities will gather, just as they have for generations. And we start our journey east. Bowman Gray Stadium, an unmistakable landmark square in the middle of Tobacco Road, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Built for football, but made famous by racing. And it's early here on the season's last day. For 70 years, this has just been what you do on Saturday night. A custom ingrained in the fabric of this community.
History is what makes this place so unique. You know, over 70 years, we've got people that have been racing, we're second, third generations of racing. We grew up here. This is what we do. This is what we're passionate about.
As the day wears on, these stands will fill, and a tradition that's been around for generations will write its next chapter.
Tonight's our season-ending race. This is the grand finale, as they say, so all the fireworks happen tonight.
We are out here this early. We get out here about 10, 11 o'clock, put our stuff down. Typically we go back home, take a nap, and then we come back out at about 5:30 and stay out here till the race starts at 8 o'clock, and then we're out here till the end. And then sometimes we go into the pits. So we're out here till sometimes like 1 o'clock in the morning, so it's like a 13-hour, 14-hour day for us.
While Bowman Gray continues its preparation, we move west. For nearly 3 decades, Ken Schrader raced at NASCAR's highest level in over 700 races. Today, now 64 years old, it'll be another Saturday at the track. His shop in Dittmer, Missouri, just southwest of St. Louis, is a reminder of a decorated past and a passion that continues to burn.
Get that turkey trophy. That's for the Turkey Derby at Springfield, Missouri. This was just kind of St. Louis stuff. This is the first year I ever drove. You gotta zoom in on that. Started racing in '71 when I was 16. And then it's like, hey, you know what? If I really worked at this, I could maybe not get a job. So we've not really had a real job since then. 2 hours early. You're just ready to go.
Employee of the month.
Definitely not retired. I'll be in a race car 125, 130 days this year. I love doing it. I mean, why do guys play golf after they don't play in the tour anymore. I mean, it's still what you want to do.
Because, you know, I'm super greasy from wearing a helmet all day, staying in the sun. So we have to make it matte, then add a little spicy glitter back into it. And we're off.
3,000 miles west of Bowman Gray is Evergreen Speedway in Monroe, Washington.
It's like kind of flat. She should be good on it.
Motocross legend Brian Deegan is on the road again, headed to yet another track.
I actually raced here in Rallycross years ago. We came down and turned around this pole. This is one of the turns through the dirt section.
But this time, it's not for him. Today, his daughter, 18-year-old Haley Deegan, will be the one behind the wheel.
So I got into racing when I was about 8 years old. My dad made the transition from freestyle motocross to off-road truck racing. He ended up buying me an off-road truck when I was 8 years old and just fell in love with it ever since.
For Haley Deegan, the story is yet to be written. For Ken Schrader, it's more of a postscript. It's on to I-55 Raceway, a track Ken now owns and still races at. Not because he has to, but because after all these years, he still hears racing's call.
I still want to do it, but I mean, it's not like I got that nervous excitement that you had years ago. You know, now you kind of got a pretty good idea if everything goes really good, what kind of night it'll be. And if everything goes really bad, what kind of night it'll be, you know? Everybody out there tonight, let's just say ballpark will be 100 cars, and there'll be 400 people in the pits and however many in the grandstands. Everybody wanted to be there. Nobody went there because that was their job.
Back in the state of Washington, the race day is ready to begin for Haley Deegan. Evergreen's a short track, a venue that has Haley feeling right at home.
I love these short tracks. The short tracks are where I really learned everything in stock car racing. It's more so my strong suit. As of now, I'm learning the bigger track stuff. We're about to go to qualify. I'm the first one off the grid because we're fastest in practice. I think these small grassroots races are where you really learn your skill sets, where you learn how to make moves on people, where you learn to race side by side on really tight tracks, where you learn how to pass people on 3/8 miles. Those are things and skill sets you can't really learn on big speedways.
The racing gene has been securely passed down from Brian to Haley. That part seems obvious. What's also obvious is Haley's popularity at the track, an inspiring figure. Haley has captured the imagination of young fans at every track she races.
Thank you very much. Good luck. I think my ultimate goal is just to win at every level I'm at, but at the end of the day, it's developing as much as I can on these lower levels as quick as possible, so every time I move up a level, I'm able to be competitive and run up front.
Elko Speedway is about as far away from the super speedways of the Southeast as you can get. Sure, it may also serve as a drive-in theater, but this 3/8 mile asphalt oval in a Minnesota town of 4,000 is home. Home to the Larson family and countless like them.
Yeah, 2006, I started Billy Stardust Motorsports for my kids. My son started in quarter midgets, and then 2 years later, my daughter started in quarter midgets, so ever since then, I've been supplying cars for both them kids to race.
Well, we're a team, so we all pitch in. We all work on the car. We all help with the car. We do everything together. It's a family.
Oh, it's the greatest thing ever to be part of a family team because then everyone is involved. My dad is out there, he's working on the car, I'm out there with him. It's just a good time to bond.
It's helped our family kind of mold together because this is what we do as a family and this is what we do every weekend.
You ready for this, kid? Yeah. Remember, crank that steering wheel. Come out low. Got a couple more tenths in you, I know you do. Let's see them. All right, I'm going up.
For Bill, racing has always been in his blood. but now serves as a family bond and an outlet for his son Jack.
My son's 21 years old. He's a racing with autism kid. He's got Asperger's.
It really kind of hits your social aspect of life.
He doesn't have the ability like you or I would have to express his emotions, and there's a real physical end to it too. The hand-eye coordination is lacking.
It's difficult to do a lot of certain things. Like, my brain is wired differently than what a lot of other people kind of have it with.
He told me once that driving a race car made him feel free. He's happy there. I don't think he cares if he's winning or if he's losing. I think he's happy that he has that freedom that he doesn't get on a normal basis.
Yeah, there are definitely things that it can help with racing. It helps with my line. I can have this almost robotic way of, okay, here I gotta turn, here I have to get on the gas, here I have to go, and then that just helps every lap. It's a lot like that.
Good job, kid. Madison, tell him he did good.
Yep.
Give him a good hands up. That was a good run. It was smooth, it was consistent.
Yep.
We just need this much more.
Okay.
Elko's a wonderful facility, and people, third, fourth generation people that have been there. So the people, the camaraderie, and the facility itself is really a wonderful facility.
Let's go racing!
Come on, kid.
If it's a small town track, everyone is racing for themselves, really, and there's no big sponsors out there that you gotta please. It's a nice community to race in, and also all these Cup guys, a lot of them come from Grassroots. That's where a lot of talent is.
Everybody in this field here, they're hobby stock racers. It's kind of a breed of its own. It's still true racing because the cars are fully adjustable like a late model, and yet it's affordable. And the competition is so good.
I lost steering.
$5 power steering line.
Oh yeah, 100%. Just relax. Just relax. We got to clean all the power steering fluid off. We're done for this race.
Oh well.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff happens.
Just happy you didn't put it in the wall.
Yeah.
That's all we care about.
Other side.
One piece.
His form of racing is the purest form of racing. He's not racing for a paycheck or for an ego high or to prove anything. He's a part of something that's so much bigger than he is. He gets to be that hero.
As the race begins at Elko Speedway, Jack Larson starts toward the back of the pack.
Come on, buddy.
But even in these moments, when it's seemingly all about racing, it's still about much more than racing.
It's exhilarating. It's just something that you have that adrenaline rush that you come over the bank, you look at the stands, it's full of people, it's all the eyes are on you, and it's just, it feels like you are the only person in the world, and it's just the funnest thing that you could possibly think of.
I don't care if he wins, I don't care if he loses. If he feels free, I'm in. All in.
Jack's night comes to an end. And despite not being at the top of the leaderboard, it's a moment the entire Larson family shares together.
I'm mad, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Well, you had fun. It was fun. I wish I could put on a better show.
Hey, you put on a show. How's the car?
Oh, the car was beautiful.
For 22 years before I started a family racing, the reward was very evident. Trophies, money, checks, glory. And then in 2006, when I started Billy Stardust Motorsports, the rewards was completely different. Family unity, discipline, respect. Well, you know what?
Way to go, kid.
Proud of you.
Yeah.
The rewards is this family unit that we built. That's so close.
Good way to end the season.
I like it. It makes me feel good. It makes me happy, and I love being with my family, and we all enjoy doing the same thing. How often do you get that? Never.
One, please.
The green flag draws near at Bowman Gray as the sun sets on the season's final day. Gone is the work week and the routine of the 9 to 5. Preparations continue as this field of racers begin to transform from the average to the extraordinary.
These drivers and these teams, they work so hard all season, and they're ready to put on the show for you tonight.
You're a local hero. When you race at Bowman Gray, you know, you could take a guy at any grassroots track, and he could be driving a forklift at a mill during the week. But on Saturday, Friday, Saturday night, Sunday, he's a hero. And these kids come up to him with pencil and pad wanting his autograph.
Those drivers would love to sign those pictures in tonight's program for you after the races tonight.
You know, the only person at work wants his autograph is the guy that writes his name on a check, gives somebody. But here he's a hero. I think that's what makes him passionate.
Here we go, the season finale here at the Madhouse.
For more than 2 decades, Matt Crossman's job has been to tell stories. As a journalist, he's done everything from bowl with NASCAR great Tony Stewart, hike with the Green Berets, and finish last in a spelling bee, all in pursuit of great stories.
Want to help me? Come on in. Grab a hold. Okay. Today we're doing old-fashioned hand over hand, so start pulling. There we go. All right, perfect. All right, we got ourselves a lobster.
Today, he is here, Scarborough, Maine, home to Beach Ridge Motor Speedway, a 1/3 mile oval asphalt in the midst of a town more well known for lobsters and lighthouses than left turns. But first, when in Maine, Matt sits with Andy Cusack, owner and promoter of Beach Ridge Motor Speedway.
There's oftentimes fights over whether to have mayo on it or butter. I've always been a mayo guy. People have very strong opinions one way or the other.
Butter people don't know what they're talking about.
I've dealt with so many people in my lifetime who have said, racing, why do you like that? All they do is go around in circles. And 9.5 times out of 10, if a new person comes to Beach Ridge anyhow, and I think this is true of most short tracks, the experience is so different than they ever expected. They like it and they do end up coming back again, some for a lifetime.
One such Beach Ridge lifer is Dan McKeague. A roofer by trade, Dan has been going to the track for more than 3 decades. Bit by the Beach Ridge bug when he was only 6 years old. Now, for he and fellow racer and wife Laura, it's become a family affair.
I think Grassroots is like the entry level, and it gets so many young kids out in the shop, hopefully, and not being stuck behind a computer screen.
For me, I like being competitive, but most of all, it's the people that we get to hang out with. They're more so family.
It was only until a couple of weeks ago that I've ever taken 1 week off from weekly racing, and it was more than 26.5 years after I started. I've had missed lots and lots of weddings and anniversaries and birthdays and all these special gatherings that everyone else does.
26 years without missing a race?
Yeah. It's been an extremely long time.
You have a ton of drivers who come back week after week. What does that say to you about the track that you're running?
I hope it says that we're doing a lot of things right. The fact that they will keep coming back, I think, says something about the parity of our rules and the preparedness of the place and the crowd that they interact with and how much they enjoy it, that it's worth coming back time and time again.
All set. Hi, Ed. All set, bud. Thank you. That was easy, huh?
I just love everything about it. It's what I've done since I was a kid, and I really don't know what else I'd be doing. I've tried to get away from it, from watching in the stands or helping on a crew, and I always go back to wanting to be in the seats. I feel like this is the best way to get your foot in the door with anything racing.
The characters of Matt's story take shape as the track comes to life. Characters that help define the world of grassroots racing.
Guys like Joey Logano, Martin Truex, Kyle Busch, I mean, they all got to start in Legends or at a local bull ring somewhere. We're all in it for the same thing, you know, it's no big budgets. You know, nobody wants to see anything get tore up. They all want to help you, they all want to see you do good. And that's really what I think the Grassroots is all about.
I race in the Pro Series division. Everybody there is super tough to beat, and anywhere they went in the country, I'm sure they'd be highly competitive.
I think it's some of the toughest competition in the Northeast in the Pro Series here.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. Welcome back for the third week here at Beech Ridge.
I think the difference, if there is a difference, between a national cup level fan at a Bristol or a Talladega or whatnot and a short track, I think the difference for the fan is that the short track fan can be much more hands-on. They know these people on a personal level versus knowing them as a personality. It's easy for everybody to learn about each other, grow a bond between themselves and a driver.
Well, I think short track racing in general is a very exciting sport. The home track thing is really what I like. You can pick a fan favorite and cheer that guy on.
I've always wanted to be, you know, the local hometown guy. It's pretty much all I'd ever aspired to be.
So you've been coming here for years. What makes this place so special?
I can't put my finger on any one thing that makes it special, but the racing certainly, but also the people that are here. There are so many people here in the second generation, the third generation at this racetrack. But it comes right down to the racing, and this is a track where you can race hard. I'd much rather race here than Daytona or Indianapolis or any of them. Give me my sprint car, let me be out here, let me be hooked up, passing cars, some on the outside, some on the inside. That's the happiest moments of my life.
For 26 years, Dan McKeague didn't miss a Saturday night at Beech Ridge. This one didn't end up how he wanted. But that's never really been the point.
This is Travis Russell, ladies and gentlemen. A big congratulations. Man, talk about this win. Yeah, what are we going to do? Oh, sorry.
Well, congratulations on your first win. You looked pretty emotional in victory lane. What's going on? What was that about?
Well, my first child was born last night, my daughter. So it's been
First daughter last night?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's been a long end of the week. I didn't get much sleep, so.
The race card was awesome, the competition was great, and the thrill of victory is outstanding. When this young man won the final race of the night and it turns out he just had his first child. Doesn't that speak to the passion of grassroots racing? And I'm certain that if I was born during the race season, my dad would have been here racing too, and that's the way it would have went. And I've seen that time and time again at this place, and I'm certain that's the same at short tracks across the country.
For more than 3 decades, Lee Jeffries has been in a race car here at Bowman Gray. Before that, he was a fan in particular of his father, who began racing here in the 1960s.
You won't go nowhere else and race with this many people in the stands. Something happens on the racetrack, you can hear them start clapping, booing, but you will hear the crowd.
Like so many Saturday nights past, tonight is fairly typical.
These fans, they come to Bowman Gray, you know, they started out when they was a kid, their parents brought them, now they're grown and they're bringing their kids. And they're pretty passionate about the drivers they pull for too.
Weekly racing, these guys, it's worse than a drug addiction. They're just so into it, you know, they live it, they breathe it, you know, that's just what they live for is racing.
The stands are filled, the anticipation over. It's time to race. the Jackson family is headed straight south, 230 miles from their home in Albuquerque to Vado Speedway Park.
But in the end, it's all about getting Josh fast on the racetrack and keeping him fast.
We're ready to go.
What should be a tranquil trek through the desert stirs the nerves for 21-year-old Joshua Jackson.
For the race, I'm really nervous, I guess. I always my knee would start bouncing up and down. I'm not too sure why I get that. It kind of happens all the time.
Joshua started racing when he was 5 years old. We lived in Texas at the time, and we were moving home. And my dad called me on the way and said, "I bought your son a race car." And I said, "You're insane." Next thing I know, we're at the track, at the quarter midget track, and that's pretty much all she wrote. He's been in a race car ever since.
Well, look who's coming. A 37. Driving a legend car. It's a 1945, older car, but it's obviously it's a little bit smaller and a little bike engine in there and stuff like that. I'm into these for this year, and the next year I'll be running an X mod and maybe a sprint car just to try it again.
Jackson is still relatively young in racing terms, but his maturity and resolve come from a life that has been lived, and one that was almost cut tragically short.
It was his rookie year, so he had finished in the top 5 pretty much every single race. It was about halfway through the season, and he had an accident on August 8th, 2015.
And another one upside down in turn 2, and he's up in flames.
He went into a wheelie, and then a car came into the opening of his roll cage and shattered his skull from cheekbone to up towards the top of the skull.
Is he okay?
And when we got to the hospital, the neurosurgeon was very blunt and said, "I don't know what to tell you, but this kid isn't going to survive the night. So you need to make arrangements in the morning. But I'll do everything I can." It was a long 3 weeks. He didn't talk for about 2 months, and then they never thought he'd walk. They had told me that it was cognitive and that he wasn't, clearly thinking, and that he would never drive a car again. He'd never use power tools. He would never have the daily functions of life. This leg, honey.
Lift up your right leg and step back right there. Good.
After the accident, the Jacksons moved to Omaha, Nebraska for Josh to rehab at the Quality of Life Institute. And just 6 months after the crash, Josh was back in a different kind of car.
Me and my mom ended up going to watch a movie or something like that, and then right next to it was another indoor karting.
And he was like, "Mom, now." And I was like, "Nope, not happening. Your therapist would kill me."
And at first, my mom told me no, that's probably not the best idea, and then finally she let me get into one.
So I took him inside, and they already knew him. So his accident had gone viral. He actually won the Rookie of the Year, even though he got hurt halfway through the season. So everybody just in the racing community really knew him and really embraced him. So we pulled everybody off, and he broke their track record the second lap out. I was like, now I've got him in a car, I can't stop it. So we got everybody together, all of his therapists. We went out to Joe's Karting, and they actually made it part of his therapy.
After my whole wreck deal, I can't believe I was going to ever give up on racing. So I, proved harder, and I got my leg back. I tried everything so I can get back in racing again.
$70, please, sir. Thank you very much. Look,
Yep.
I even left you $10 for a burger.
Yeah. Thank you. See ya.
His first race back was the week before the year anniversary of his accident, and he's been racing ever since.
Lucas Oil Power Eyes 369 weights red car. Here to put on a show for you tonight.
The fans here are amazing. I'm just an old throwback redneck from the state of Missouri, and so transplanting down here into a new culture and a new landscape and learning to get to know all these people has been amazing.
When they come to this place, I want them to feel like they can bring anybody. You know, let the wives and grandmas and the aunts and uncles and stuff come in here. If they want to have high heel shoes on or cowboy boots, they can.
Flip that yellow switch off, turn the green one on, and cut these cats loose. Whether you're a fan, whether you're a driver, whether you're a member of the media, we have it all, and we're very proud to have that.
Getting nervous now. Huh? Getting a little bit nervous now. You are? Yeah, I always get nervous for a race.
And so it is time for heat race number 1.
Vado Speedway Park is new to the Jacksons, unfamiliar. But the pre-race nerves come as expected at every track, as the effects of Joshua's accident go far beyond the physical.
It's a little bit of PTSD for me because I was there that night, and every time I saw him go into turn 2, it's a little hard as a mom.
Thank you so much for this day. Watch over us, keep us safe. Lord, just bless Josh, bless all the drivers. Amen. Amen.
When you go to a racetrack, everybody's like family, and that's where Grassroots Racing needs to be. Here at the racetrack, you're not related, but it's family.
Be careful.
Yeah, you do.
You know, we always heard about the family. It's not until you have a tragedy like Joshua's that you really realize what that means. Everybody came together in support of Joshua. Every track that he raced at had a benefit of some kind. And he's raced across the country. I don't know what we would do without this family.
Green flag in the air, and we are underway.
As the green flag drops on a night of racing at Vado Speedway Park, Joshua Jackson grabs a lead he doesn't let go of, ultimately taking the checkered flag. Now 4 years removed from an accident that nearly took his life, each lap is a mini miracle and a testament to his resolve to not only return, but succeed in a sport he loves.
It's remarkable. I mean, on August 8th, you know, when he flipped, nobody thought he was going to make it. And we went there every day with his mom and his grandma and his grandpa. And he's an honorary kid, and that's why he's here. He's a good kid.
Give a very special welcome up here to New Mexico's Josh Jackson down here in Victory Lane. That's a good sound. Well, so many people love you, young man. He's been dominant here, and the coolest thing is Josh is pretty much a fan favorite. Most of all, they love his heart, his compassion, and his effort. I know these folks here mean so much to you.
I mean, they just do me a great favor and keep me awake, and I'm trying to make it to NASCAR, but it might not work, but at least I tried.
When he first decided to go back to racing, it was not something that I wanted. I decided that the happiness on his face when he gets out of the car is nothing that you would ever see normally.
Best of luck, man.
Thank you. Thanks. I like doing this. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Way to go, guy.
If this is what makes him happy and fulfills his life, then I'm gonna support it no matter what.
Thank you.
It's early on this Saturday just outside Charlotte Motor Speedway. 10-year-old Aiden Garcia begins a long day with his father, Steven.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty excited for you. It's
Yeah,
be fun.
I love this track so far.
Do you?
Yeah.
A day that will start on this track, where Aiden races in the Bandit division of Bandoleros.
Over here, are you already looking for the wall?
Yeah, I'm on the throttle and I'm looking for the wall. I just like being able to drive and passing everyone. That's really fun.
As it has for many generations, racing satisfies Aiden's competitive spirit. But more than that, it's something they do together as father and son.
Yeah, good job. How'd the car feel? How'd it feel? Good. Good?
The race is over for Aiden, who is pleased with his performance. But the day is long. Next for Stephen and Aiden is a quick 30-mile trip north to Millbridge Speedway, where husband and wife owners Jeremy and Ashley Burnett finalize preparations.
Usually when I get here, the first thing I do is turn on everything in the concession stand just so when the girls get here, everything's ready to go for them. It's one of the good things about us is we do everything ourselves. Can't live life relying on other people. We will mark a schedule pretty much every minute, and we'll have a very detailed time that we have to hit, and usually we're ahead of time. We've done it long enough to where we kind of have a system together. He knows what he's got to do, I know what I got to do, and that's why we don't like mixing a bunch of people in our little process, because then everything goes wrong.
For Aiden, Millbridge diversifies his on-track training as he continues to build his racing resume.
I mostly do asphalt, and I also really like doing dirt on iRacing, so I think it's going to be fun.
All right, guys, side by side, we'll go green turn 4.
Aiden's goals as a driver are lofty, but no matter what becomes of his racing career, these shared Saturdays with his father, whether he knows it or not, will be lifetime memories.
That's exactly what happened.
That was a lot of fun. You know, there's a mix of just adrenaline and excitement and a little bit of fear. But for me, the most important thing is to give him an opportunity to do something that he loves so much. That's really what this is all about.
Lights out, lights out. We are going green, going green. Tighten it up, guys, tighten it up. We are going green.
Side by side down the bank. Get your camera phones out. It might be a photo finish. Off of 4. Stevenson washes up. Taylor to the inside. Chico Taylor got him.
As the races roll on at Millbridge Speedway, Ashley and Jeremy enjoy a moment to reflect on a smooth night at the track.
It's been a very smooth night. Very smooth night.
I'm gonna get the blowers and get them put up.
Yeah, go ahead and take the blowers in, but that's about it. Lights can stay out.
The moment is short, as they'll turn around and do it all again in just a few days.
All the classes did really well, all the kids did really good, and hopefully they can keep it going for Wednesday.
What year did you start racing? 71. We started in the same year.
I didn't start racing till I was 59 and a half years old. I'm 66 years old, and to think I would be doing this at this stage of my life is really humorous.
They got the same friggin' disease that I got. It's an addiction. I don't know how. You got to die out of it. It's the only way. But it's just fun.
When you put your butt in the seat of a race car and you just feel that engine rumbling, you get excited. The adrenaline starts flowing. You know, it's just a great thrill. I'm having the time of my life in my senior years. Getting ready to go out on the playground and have fun.
I'm excited. We qualified fourth, further back than I wanted to. Still, my goal is top 3 by lap 35. I want to be leading by halfway, get tires, and hopefully lead till the end. That's my goal. That's my goal. And I didn't say that was reality, so don't come for me for that, but that's my goal. were battling for second for a while. Then I got mauled over in the left rear on one of the restarts and bent something because it got super tight.
The car just dropped like an anchor, so there's really nothing you can do at that point. It wasn't her fault, so at the end of the day, it just equipment happens. It is what it is.
For Haley Deegan and the 19 car, not winning on this Saturday night might be a disappointment. But in the big picture, it's another step towards writing her story.
It's just a learning process and riding the waves out of every single weekend of the highs and lows and taking the good and leaving the bad. At the end of the day, you gotta just move on and keep digging.
And the transmission, the rear end's right between the legs on this thing.
Nice and smooth and slow down there. I mean, we have freed up to run the bottom before too, so I don't feel bad about either way.
All right, folks, now's your time. Get on your feet. It's the best of the Midwest here in Peewee.
Ken Schrader's night started strong as he won his heat. He now looks to cap off the night with a win in the main event.
We're starting on the front. The car beside us has been really fast this year, so and we'll just go out there and go as best we can and see what happens.
Starting on the pole, Kenny Schrader is
I won 4th place, you know. We felt pretty good. I mean, you don't feel good. I'm not happy going home in 4th, but we made gains and it's in one piece. You always want better, but it was a good night. You know, we talked a little bit earlier today about people that were here want to be here, and they'll hang around here for a couple hours still. They're not ready to go home. You know, this is our weekend getaway. I love it. Next year's year 50 of doing this. I'll be 65 years old. Why I still think I have to do it 65, 70 times a year, I don't know. But I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the champion of Bowman Gray Stadium Racing for the 10th time in this Bowman Gray Stadium career. He's got the number 10. He's going to show it off.
At Bowman Gray, it's the final laps of this race and this season. The crowd will leave here tonight. They'll be back, just like they have every season for 70 years.
I mean, you know, we didn't have to finish what we wanted, but it's time for the season to be over. It's been a long year. But, you know, in a couple months, we'll be ready to go back again. Y'all like the wrecks tonight? Y'all see all the wrecks?
Yeah.
The best part I have is when the kids come down here and you sign cards for them or sign their shirt or hat. Now, that gives me the most enjoyment out of it. Y'all be good. See y'all next year. That's a big thing, because the kids will always remember that.
As this day comes to a close at Bowman Gray and our story nears its end, we're once again reminded of the why. Why does racing, this style of grassroots racing, get into our blood and pass from generation to generation? The answer seems simple once you've seen what racing means to these people and the thousands just like them.
There's nothing more important than the small town, the grassroots. There's nothing more important in racing than that.
I feel like that's what's keeping NASCAR going right now is all our grassroots people. I mean, that's what puts the people in the stands. We all have the desire to keep coming back every week.
Awesome. Thank you guys for coming out.
All these races are cool, all the short tracks, just because there's so many fans that come out there every single weekend. Little short track they have across the street from their house and take the whole family to the races. That's why I like everyone around the racetrack, just because they have all the same racer mentality.
It's just amazing how people you get to help you and helps the other drivers, they always help each other.
You know, you're going to be around a whole bunch of people that just wanted to be there, and it just makes the atmosphere more fun.
The racing community is bonded like no other. Everybody has the same passion, and yet they come at it from many different angles. To me, that's America, man.